Hi, and welcome to the 10 square meter workshop, where today I'm going to be looking at my table saw fence. My saw is based on the DeWalt side saw. I don't have room for a full-size table, or indeed use one often enough to justify it. It's not bad as a table, and the fence is on rack and pinion both ends, with a locking lever that makes it pretty rigid. However, the fence itself is quite plain, especially compared to my digital router fence, which has all manner of appendages. I can actually use my digital fence on the table saw too, but that would be overkill for most cuts. I have some T-track left over from that project, so I want to mount this on the fence. I could just bolt it on the top, but that means all the accessories would have to be L-shaped. I want to use the same ones as I do on the router fence. More on that in a future video. So what I really want to do is mount it on the face. However, that means drilling through from the top and leaving rather ugly holes. But there is another solution. I also have this angle. It's 12.7 millimeters. I believe that's called 0.5 inches in some parts of the world. Fitted behind, it's almost exactly the correct width for the fence. So that's the route I'll take. Having cut to length, I now clamp the two together on a flat surface. Normally I'd use a transfer punch to mark the existing holes through, but because the countersunk, I'm just using a scriber to mark out the outside at both ends, which I can use to centre pop the locations. Which I drill out 3.3 millimeters. And then tapping 4 millimeters. I can now join using countersunk 4mm bolts. With the ends in, I can centre pop the rest. With the rest drilled and tapped, it's a drop of Loctite in each hole and then nip them up tight. With the two joined, I can mark out and centre punch the fixing bolts. I can now clamp it to the fence and drill through both down to tapping size, 3.3 millimeters again. With that done, I could tap out the frame, drill out the track holes to 4 millimeters, and then join the two together using the 4mm round head bolts. I now have a T-track on the top of my fence, pretty much the same as my router table, although a few millimeters higher. This means I can use common parts on both. Fingerboards, of course, my anti-kickback sprung rollers, see a previous video, and of course my guide roller system, which pushes the material against the fence. Great for thin strips. Also from a previous video. Well, that's a useful project in itself, but that's not the real reason I did it. It's actually preparation for a future project. Why not subscribe so you'll know when it's coming? That's all for this time. Bye for now.